In this video, we'll look at how to add and configure a variety of devices for your Creator project using SAVI version 3.5. All of this will be done in the Equipment tab of Creator, which is broken down into two main sections, Add Equipment and Equipment in Project. I can expand or collapse either of these by clicking their titles, which is very helpful when using a smaller screen. To add a piece of equipment to your project, find the driver for it in the list here. The drivers are arranged alphabetically, so you can scroll to the one you need, but it's usually much faster to use the search field. I'll add a few different drivers to show a variety of examples, but I'll start by adding a display to my patio area. Click the driver and a new driver card will open. This lets us configure the driver before adding it to the project. I'll first change the name and then choose a location. If the location you want doesn't exist yet, you can create it directly from here, but if you prefer, you can create all your locations ahead of time in the Locations tab. Just type the new location's name and hit Enter, or click here to create it. Since I'm planning to hang this display in portrait mode, I'll also need to scroll down and change the rotation value to 90 or 270, depending on the orientation. As you can see, there are quite a few other options you may find useful, such as setting a hidden source, changing the default picture mode, and manually adding SAVI layouts. If you don't add any layouts here, you'll need to do so from the Layouts tab at some point. Otherwise, this display won't have any layouts to choose from in Facility View. For brand new projects, it's usually faster to just add all equipment including all displays, and then configure the layouts and assign displays from the Layout tab itself. But know that the option is here for you as well. Everything looks good, so I'll add this display to my project. With my signage display added, I now have 6 other landscape displays I need to put in the patio, and luckily there's a way to add them all at once. I'll select the same driver again, just type Patio, select the location again, and this time I'll click Add Multiple. I'll enter a 6 under Quantity, and since the Auto Rename option is checked, each of the 6 patio displays will have a unique number associated with it. I'll click OK, then navigate to these displays under the Equipment and Project section. As you can see, all 6 have been added here, each with a different number. You may have noticed I didn't manually enter an IP address for any of the webOS displays. This is because SAVI Canvas uses a behind-the-scenes method of communicating with webOS displays on the network once they've been linked from the Canvas Edit page, so you can typically leave your webOS displays set to DHCP. Configuring and linking displays is a different process covered in another video, which is linked in the description below. I'm now going to quickly get my low voltage lighting set up by adding my QORALUX.One Pro and several QORALUX LED zones. I'll first add the DMX lighting server by using the QORALUX.One Pro driver card. The only thing I need to enter here is the IP address, since the default location of Equipment Closet is what I want. The Equipment Closet is a special location that represents any equipment not tied to a specific room, so anything in a rack can usually be left in the Equipment Closet. It's also worth noting that any endpoint in the Equipment Closet will show up in Facility View even though it's not tied to a specific location. I'll add this to my project and then open the QORALUX LED Zone driver. I'll set the name and location, then choose the server that I just added from this dropdown. The final value I need to set is the fixture ID. This value will match the fixture ID number from the lighting server itself, so you need to open that software to obtain the ID unless you already recorded them somewhere for reference. The last option is default brightness, which is already set to 100, but you can adjust this as needed. In this example, the patio has 8 overhead LEDs, and each of them is configured to be controlled independently, so I need to add 8 copies of this driver. I'll again use the Add Multiple feature to do this, and enter 8 for the quantity. I'll now check the Increment Fixture ID option so that each LED gets a unique name. When I hit OK, I'll again head to my Equipment and Project section to verify everything was added correctly. You also want to keep in mind that the QORALUX LED Zone driver represents a zone of lights. This can be one light fixture or many fixtures depending on your needs. One last driver I'll look at is the Generic Source driver. This driver can be used as a source that we can route to endpoints in Facility View, but don't necessarily need to control through SAVI's interface, as we would with a specific source driver. We can use the generic source driver for an HDMI wall plate connection, a generic mic, or an analog audio input. I'll now look at my Equipment and Project again to go over a couple of more features. Besides removing devices I no longer need, I can also duplicate devices and then edit the copy as needed. You can also make changes to devices by selecting several of them at once. Let's say I wanted to hide a specific source from all my bar displays. I would simply select all of them, scroll to the Hidden Sources field, and select the source. When I hit Save, Creator will confirm that I want to make a change that applies to multiple devices. I can use the same method to change any other setting for multiple devices, assuming the value will be the same for all of them. The last feature we'll look at is the Remote button. Clicking this will open up a command modal for whichever device you have selected, so each will be slightly different. While controlling endpoints is usually done through Facility View or Glass View, know that you have all the commands for the device at your disposal here. These will be the same commands available within macros, so if you're wanting to schedule any of these commands, you can do that in the Macros section. You should be all set to start adding equipment to your Creator project. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more SAVI training videos.